Back on Get Up, and it's been a while since Kimberly Martin was on the show. You've been out and about covering various games and weather-related changes to the NFL schedule and a number of different things. Yes. So we wanted to catch up with Kmart on a couple of topics now that she's back here in studio. There's been a lot of drama, Kimberly, with the New York Jets, obviously, this season. What do you think of their quarterback situation right now? Is Mike White the starter the rest of the way?
All right, Dan. So Robert Saleh is intent on getting Zach Wilson back on the field, but I'm also intent on losing 15 pounds this holiday season, and that may not happen. I can guarantee you that. So Mike White, listen, unless this man throws 4 interceptions in one game, he's done nothing but to prove that he should be the starter the rest of the way.
All right, well, how about this one then? Denver, Russell Wilson is the starter, but boy, has he not played well. How much damage has this done to Russell and his legacy here?
Okay, this is not good. This is no bueno. But think about it. How did we look at Russell? We thought he was a very good quarterback, but not upper echelon, not in the Brady, Rodgers, Mahomes type of category, right? So I don't think we've changed from looking at him that way. He's still good, but on the decline. I'm not. Should I kill him more? I don't know.
It's been a rough year. I guess you don't need to pile on. One of the things you have been out covering is Deshaun Watson's return to the NFL. You were at the game in Houston on Sunday. What was your top takeaway?
So all week we talked about how he might get a very hostile environment. That's what he would be confronted with. And instead, he was booed. I was there. He was booed every offensive drive when they started the game, every time he touched the ball. But all things considered, this was not the hostile environment that a lot of us anticipated. And even Browns execs were like, okay, this is a little bit better than we were anticipating. But I was there when Browns fans were cheering him and celebrating him in Houston. So it was a win-win for Deshaun, even though he didn't throw any touchdowns.
See what kind of welcome he gets in Cincinnati on Sunday. Bengals red hot, haven't lost since they lost in Cleveland on Halloween night. Want to go now to Tampa, though, where Tom Brady led the Buccaneers on a pair of touchdown drives in the fourth quarter to beat the New Orleans Saints on Monday night and improve to 500 for the season. Buccaneers now have a 92% chance to win the NFC South, according to ESPN Analytics. Monday marked the second time this season that Brady threw the go-ahead touchdown with less than 10 seconds remaining. A month ago against the Rams, Tampa trailed by 4 with less than a minute left before Brady drove them down the field for the winning score. So we see Brady with the comeback magic as we're used to, but we see the record at 6-6, which we're not so used to. So 92% though, our analytics say to win the division, which means they'll be in the playoffs.
Yep.
Cool.
So what do we think when they get there? Are we betting against Brady?
Man, that's not a good place to be, betting against Tom Brady. I don't want to live in that world. Now, this is not a very good Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. And even though they're one game back of what their record was when they won the Super Bowl, this team feels less like 2020 Tampa and more like 2019 New England. Now, that being said, Tom Brady's been in the playoffs 19 times. Only 3 times he's been one and done. Tom Brady in home playoff games, 21-5 record. So you do the math. And when you consider the potential matchup with the Dallas Cowboys, I feel like this is one of those potential upsets that we would see on Wild Card Weekend. Not because I believe in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You don't believe in the
Cowboys. It's just that I don't believe in the Cowboys even less. And the issues that we saw with the Dallas Cowboys last year in Wild Card round aren't issues that they've cleaned up. They're still the second most penalized team in the National Football League. They still have game management issues. All you got to look back to is the Green Bay game. They still play down to the level of competition. Look at the Detroit Lions game, 4-point game in the fourth quarter. The Indianapolis Colts game this past Sunday, 2-point game in the fourth quarter. All I'm simply saying is this. If you leave the door open for Tom Brady, we saw what he can do on Monday night against the New Orleans Saints. He still got that.
I feel like you just gave all the reasons why we shouldn't bully in the Bucs. I don't know. I feel like after listening to him, like, no, they don't sound pretty good. They're not a good football team. I feel like that's
just said
no, but I'm saying
the question though is like, look, Tom Brady is their quarterback. Like we have seen him, like the Saints left the door open, right, on Monday night. So if you get in a close game, are you willing to say, well, Brady, he doesn't have enough around him. He's 45. Like I don't buy it anymore.
I think logic, if we're thinking logically and not emotionally and not thinking about the past. If you just look at this team, they are not a good football team. I think what Chris is saying, you are dead on. They do not look like the team that won the Super Bowl. And even a couple years ago, the Bucs came out of nowhere. They didn't have a great record, and then all of a sudden, in the second half of the season, it was like, okay, there we go. But you don't feel like this is a 45-year-old quarterback who's gone through a divorce. Like there's no Gronk, there's no Bruce. Like it's just a different vibe right now.
On the defense.
Yeah.
So when I think about these teams, or when I think about matchups in general, you think about what teams want to do and can the other team stop it? And then what is the response to that? So the Bucs are not going to be able to block the pass rush of the Cowboys. So then what is the response to that? Short passes and run the ball. The Bucs actually are not designed to play that type of football. So that's why I have a hard time. Yes, I agree with you. If you give Tom Brady the ball with a one-score game at the end of the game, yes, that's a scary proposition for anybody. But I don't see that happening because the Cowboys, even though the Bucs beat them in week 1, the Cowboys are a different team than they were then. The Bucs are a different team now, and the Cowboys are so much better.
So if you're Tom Brady, you retired and then decided to come back and play at 45. You didn't sign up to be 6-6, right? I mean, like, if you're Tom Brady, are you regretting this decision right now?
I guess I would say no, because it doesn't seem like Tom Brady wants to do or can do or has an interest in doing anything other than playing football. And us trying to get into Tom Brady's head is really hard to do because none of us are built like that. Like none of us have in our mind that 6 Super Bowl championships is not enough. The greatest of all. That's right. I forgot about the last one with Tampa. Damn, good Lord.
Look at you.
6 was not enough.
He's been to 9, right? I got that
10.
right? He's been to 10. Oh, God. I'm stuck at 10 years
Selling the
ago.
man short. Real quick.
I will say this, Dan. How this thing ends for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could determine where Tom Brady plays in 2023.
Yeah, well, that's what we call in the business a tease, and we'll certainly get back to that. If not today, then in the coming days and weeks. You're just going to have to stay tuned. And the coach says with a sprained PCL, an injury that often sidelines players for 1 to 3 weeks. All right, I'm Schefter reporting that the PCL is sprained in Lamar Jackson's knee. Sounds like he won't play this week, and if that is the case, backup Tyler Huntley would start for Baltimore at Pittsburgh against the Steelers on Sunday. You see the Ravens still in first place in the AFC North, tied with the Bengals, but they have the tiebreaker because they beat them earlier in the season. Of course, they play them again there at the end of the season, as you can see on the graphic. 4 of Baltimore's remaining 5 games are against division foes, including that regular season finale at Cincinnati. But that's not a terribly intimidating schedule there for Baltimore. So if Lamar does have to miss time and they're playing Huntley for a couple weeks, what do you think of Baltimore's chances?
Well, I mean, everybody likes Huntley. He's a high-end backup, but he's not Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson, frankly, the last several weeks hasn't been the Lamar Jackson we expect. This team hasn't been as good as we expect. But they still are in a decent position. They're leading, great position. They're leading their division, and they can pull off these wins against teams that they probably should beat, that they are better than, like the Steelers. I think the quarterback situation there is not much better, but that defense is so good. So we'll see what they can turn Tyler Huntley into, that pass rush. And I think we'll learn a lot about this team in this particular upcoming game, because the Steelers are a good team. They're not a great team, but they're a good team. And the assumption that Tyler Huntley is similar to Lamar Jackson, I think is not true. I think he looks a little bit brown like Lamar Jackson, so people are like, hey, same guy. But he absolutely is not Lamar Jackson, so let's not pretend that this team has the same capability with Lamar Jackson. Got a little too honest?
No, you're good.
Funny because it's true?
It's funny because it's true. We don't all look alike, yes.
Wow.
We're trying to get this.
That just happened.
We're trying to get this train back on the track. Hey, Chris Canty, when he comes back, right, when Lamar comes back, because he's not out for the year. I think we hear knee injury. Obviously, you hear, it's not an ACL. Great, what a relief. It still hurts, right? I mean, the PCL, that could affect him running when he comes back.
Yeah, we saw Zach Wilson deal with a similar injury. It took him 4 games to get back. So it's not outside of the realm of possibility that Lamar Jackson gets back and can have an impact on what the rest of the regular season looks like. But I think the AFC North is going to come down to what happens in Week 18 when the Baltimore Ravens play against the Cincinnati Bengals. That's what it is. I mean, it's not ideal for your quarterback to have a knee injury, but this is a softer part of the Ravens' schedule. So I do believe that with Tyler Huntley, a capable backup that has experience, and their defense being able to step up, you could see the Ravens be able to stay afloat and stay in that position that they're in right now at the top of that division until Week 18.
What do you think, Kimberly?
If you're the Ravens, should you be scared of the Cleveland Browns? Should you be scared of the Steelers? The Steelers barely beat the Falcons.
Yeah.
The Browns, I was there. The score was lopsided, but they did not look good.
Yeah, they scored a
against the
touchdown
Texans.
every way you could outside
Except
of your
from the
offense.
quarterback position.
Outside of your offense.
So if I'm the Ravens, no, I'm not feeling good that Lamar is not available. But this is a team that dealt with injuries last year, and they have confidence in him. This is not what you want beyond 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about the Ravens in the same way.
The Ravens deal with injuries every year. It seems like that organization is snake bitten in that area. But I understand what you're saying. The Steelers barely beat some teams that aren't that good. But the Ravens also barely beat the Broncos and barely beat the Panthers. The Ravens are not as good as I think we all expect them to be year in, year out. And the thing about Lamar Jackson is he doesn't get hurt because he runs the ball. But more than other quarterbacks, his game will be diminished by injury. So he gets hurt passing from the pocket. However, if you bring Lamar Jackson back, he's going to be lesser version of himself because of a knee injury than if you bring back a more traditional style of quarterback.
Lots more on that as we
more
continue
limited, I guess, quarterback.
Here on Get Up. When we come back, though, we're going to talk about a quarterback